No lights. The rain had stopped. It happened so abruptly that some people turned their empty eyes from this place and looked outside the only window in the office. But there was a brick wall and nothing more. So they just back to their tasks. In this case, watching stupidly at the screen. All but one. Eric was still looking outside the window. He wanted to get out of this creepy office life. Then, fear to be fired grew inside his mind and Eric tried to return to work. It wasn't easy because he couldn't concentrate on something. Thought of being fired haunted Eric so monotonously that he almost saw this scene. Larry Wormgate, the boss of the only office in Bright Mountains, approached Eric's table. Redness rose from neck to fat full cheeks. It seemed the boss was annoyed with something in Eric's fantasies. The heart was beating so fast that pain ran all over their chest. Eric stood up and left the workplace, and Larry Wormgate frowned when he noticed it. Eric headed to the toilet. The door opened with a smack. Eric ran to the sink and splashed his face with cold water. He looked in the mirror and turned away just not to see the sunk eyes with black shadows, thin gaunt face and pale lips. At this moment he asked himself, oh heaven, why is he afraid of things that don't even exist? When did he make a wrong turn? All he wanted was ease. Well, this feeling hadn't come for the last 15 years, only anxiety and worries. All his life was a sprint from fear to fear, from imagining things that never existed or had not come yet. There was some medical term for it, but Eric forgot it. And it didn't matter for him, the knowledge did not ease his mind. But sometimes Eric felt apathy and annoyance. He hated this town and the job, this dull life and the permanent rain. Well, the last one wasn't so endless though. It was dinner time. Very blessed time for every office worker in this little town. He decided to go out to the park instead of returning back to his workplace and have meal looking on the blind screen. Sun blinded him for a moment. After almost 3 months of rain, it was really strange to feel sunlight on the skin. It looked like someone painted the world again. Eric noticed that the grey grass was actually bright green, and the office building was actually red and not brown. Lots of people flooded the streets and parks. It took some time to find a lonely place to sit and rest. Eric made it though. He was sitting on the bench beside a row of ghost houses. That's why nobody else walked here. It was superstitions anyway. Houses were abandoned a long time ago and nothing supernatural did happen here. Only local rumors for tourists. "Taking some bath, huh?" asked someone. "Yep," answered Eric. "Is it a great time? You know, no worries and other stuff. Only sun and easy life." Eric felt a shot of dismay. He wanted just to rest and didn't want to talk with anybody. But the old man didn't stop. "If only this feeling lasted forever, huh?" He smirked. It wasn't a good kind of smirk. It looked like someone would be fooled soon. "Well, it's impossible," answered Eric firmly. But nobody could be fooled by this intonation. The voice wasn't so truthful as words. "Not quite," another smirk. "I'll open you a secret of blessed and easy life, 'cause you look like a guy who really needs it." "What?" "Listen carefully," snapped the old man. "Do you see those lamp posts? There are 7 and only one doesn't work. It's in the middle, easy to remember. 3 in the left and right and one doesn't work, huh?" The old man smiled slyly. "So, you ought to stand under it and ask what you needed, eh?" "What are you talking about? Are you out of your mind?" asked Eric finally. "You lose nothing if you try, but…" The old man hesitated for a moment. "Think about it. Do you really want it?" And then the old man nodded and walked away toward ghosts' houses. Eric was puzzled, but soon he decided it was some madman. There was a lot, especially after 3 months of rain. It would drive anyone to madness. Workday passed fast, and Eric was laying on his bed in a small apartment. It was attic above the bookshop. There wasn't much space, only a bed and a small cabinet. It was so cheap that Eric was very glad that he had found this rent. Sun was sinking to the sea. A little pink color still was in the sky, but darkness was falling fast. Eric looked to the watches on the wall. 11 p.m. Eric didn't know why he decided to go and try this ritual, the old man told him. It was funny at least. Anyway, as was said, he loses nothing. Eric left his apartment and strode by the street. His thoughts were running around after noon's strange meeting. Heart started beating fast when he thought that his desire can actually come true. It would be so perfect that nothing else matters. It seemed everyone went to sleep already. Most of the windows were dark and the streets were lightened with false warm yellow light, imitation of sun. Eric felt himself alone and uneasy. Suddenly, wind hit from the sea aside as Eric stepped on the path stretching aside abandoned houses. The wind was so strong that Eric could barely stand on his feet. He approached the lamp post in the middle, 3 from left and right, and this one didn't light. Eric closed his eyes and imagined life without worries and feelings at all. It was a picture of placid life without anxiety, worries, unease, and other feelings that, as Eric thought, poisoned a life. All the lights went out and wind stopped roaring around. Grim silence dawned on the dark street. It lasted for 10 seconds only, but felt like an eternity. Eric was scared in this silent dark. The light above Eric's head turned on abruptly. It had scared him so much that he ran away, didn't dare to stop until he closed the entrance door of his small apartment. He fell on the bed and slept as he was, in a dirty coat and boots. The life was divided on before and after. Eric got what he desired so much. He didn't go to work because it didn't matter anymore. All days turned to grey for him, though he was looking on the world through the dirty, dusty glass. He was walking on the street of bright mountains without any purpose. He ate, but didn't feel the taste. All food turned to flavorless, and he ate just because he should satisfy his vital needs. Life was so quiet and placid as death. No thoughts, no desires, no fears. Nothing could destroy this wall of meaninglessness. One day, Eric had been sitting on the same accursed bench when he saw the old man. He had leaned a ladder in the middle lamppost. The old man put off the cover. There wasn't any lamp, only bright light hanging in the midair between the cover and the shell of the lamppost. The old man had taken light in the palm and placed it in the pocket of his overall. "Give it back," said Eric faintly when the old man was passing by the bench. But he just smiled slyly and went away. And Eric was left sitting down with outstretched hand, begging to return his light. But the universe is blind for those who didn't appreciate presence of birth and living.